Hi, as promised, a quick video on to help you people that might be new to RVing or looking into buying an RV or whatnot. I'm going to ask you to do three different things. First is go online and research the heck out of the unit you're interested in. Everything that you need to know, want to know, every unit that there's out there for sale, you can go online and you can see it. So a lot of them got good video walkthroughs, photos, and if you can't find it on the one site that you're on, go to another site. They're they're out. They're out there. There's no need for you to run to a dealer to walk through a unit, which might be a good idea right now while COVID and all that stuff is going on. Even though we're coming down to the end of it, so do it in stages. Research the heck out of it. Find out everything there is to know about it. You can get into different forums, ask people questions, get yourself educated. Number two, go online and find a PDI. That's a pre-delivery inspection form. They can be as simple as a page or two or several pages long. When you do a PDI, a good PDI for me will end up lasting anywhere from between 2 to 3 hours. And I can already see, I hear you going, what? Um, if you're not spending the length of time to go through that unit to make sure that everything works on the dealer's lot prior to walking it off, you are setting yourself up. And that is, I don't know how else to tell you. You are lining yourself up for dropping a unit off to the service department and into the black hole that it is, and trying to get things fixed and getting people to answer you and getting things done. And a lot of the times, the work that they do is just, it's bad. I'm sorry. There has been very few circumstances that I run into, and this isn't, we're not talking small. I'm talking the big guys that are selling millions and millions of dollars of these units a month, maybe a week. I don't know. One dealership that we dealt with was very proud to tell me that they had sold 212 units that month. The reason I was in the office talking to that guy was because my $100,000 Montana 3750 FL that we had brought up to have three minor issues fixed with had been there for 6 weeks. And then when the guy that was working on it came out to explain what he had did to it, my wife told him what he did wrong. And then went back and fixed it correctly. I was very proud of her, but I was aghast that this guy would come out and say, "Hey, this is what we brought it in, and this is what was wrong with it. And we tested it, by." I'll be more descriptive. We had a tank sprayer that failed. The tank sprayer failed. It's now 4 years ago. It just stopped working. So it didn't take very long going into a Montana forum to find out that in some of the routing of the PEX that they had done, they went around a corner to where the sprayer was mounted into the tank. Over a period of time, what happened was the PEX just finished the fold. Instead of putting a 90-degree in to go around this corner, they routed the tubing around the corner, and it only took a period of time before that tubing finally just went folded. There's no flow through it. So when we went to go pick up the unit, the guy came out to explain what he did to it, and he wasn't talking to me. I was standing right there next to my wife, but he's talking to my wife and explained to her that what he did was, after an hour and a half or so of the unit being in the facility, it had warmed up enough that when they put air on the tank sprayer, that it was working fine. They knew that because he's got this little test he does. He takes toilet paper, folds it up, puts it over the top of the toilet. If you're not familiar with an RV toilet, there's got a lever that you push down with your foot, and there is a valve that slides, and that allows the water and the waste to drop through it. And then as you release pressure, on the pedal, that valve closes back up, and then the bowl starts to fill with water. So no water, connected to this thing, no water in the bowl. He connects air to it. It's passing air, great. They put folded toilet paper into the toilet pole, and he presses the pedal, and he knows that it's working because when he pressed the pedal, the air in the tank blew the toilet paper up and out of the toilet. My wife looked at him and said, "How is that possible? The black tank is vented by a 1.5 inch pipe that goes to the roof. How did you pressurize a black water tank?" And suddenly you see the guy's eyes glaze over like, and she said, "The other thing is the tank sprayer has not worked for 3 years. When it stopped working, the following month, we were in South Carolina where it's 120 degrees at the end of May. So it wasn't frozen then either. And it's not frozen now." And he said, "Oh, really? That's strange." She says, "If you look at the forums, this is a common problem where they routed the PEX around a corner in order to put the tank sprayer in it. And what happens is the PEX folds. You got to drop the bottom near the black water tank, cut the tubing and put a 90-degree in. It ought to take about 10 minutes to do." That's the type of people that we're dealing with at the major chain selling this stuff. And that is what I'm trying to protect you against. So that PDI that takes the 2 to 3 hours for you to do, and you look at everything, turn it on, turn it off, open it, close it, make it do whatever it's supposed to do. Make them put water out in there. It's all right if you put a couple of gallons of fresh water into these tanks and drive it down the road. You're not going to drain. You can't drain on the lot unless they have a place for you to do that. If they got a dump station, great. Then you can make sure all the dump valves work too. But before you drive off that lot, make sure that everything is working. So that's number 2. Research first, get that PDI, do the walkthrough, and then number 3, before you drive off that lot, you make sure that everything that's supposed to be in that is in it. That is, if there is jacks that are supposed to be in there, if there is a starter kit that's supposed to be in there, the cushions, you would have already known this from looking at stuff online. Where is this? Look for remotes. The unit that I have right now, this is a lovely story, and this is where I'm going to end. So you've done your research, you've done the PDI, and now you're making sure that everything that you're supposed to have in it is there. The last thing I went through and verified was that I had all the remotes. Now, the unit I have has 3 TVs. It's got a fireplace. It's got a stereo. It's got all the stuff. Literally, I have about a half a dozen remotes. Well, one of them says Dimplex on it. What the heck is Dimplex? Dimplex is an electric fireplace. Yep. So I got a 5,000 BTU fireplace, which are really nice. If you haven't seen one of these things beforehand, you don't have to necessarily use the heat. They take the chill off. They're a nice thing to have in the evening. My wife loves it. She uses it more than I do, but they certainly do come in handy. My unit came with a Dimplex unit that had a remote control, so I could turn it on and off and increase the heat and the fan and all that stuff right from the remote. The problem was the fireplace that was installed in the unit wasn't a Dimplex. What? Okay, so I'm back inside the service. I said, I'm going through my remotes, and I have a Dimplex remote for a Dimplex fireplace that is supposed to be in this unit. But I don't have a Dimplex fireplace in my unit. I got another type of fireplace in there, and these remotes don't work. Oh, really? Well, fireplace okay, it works. I said, yeah, it works, but it's not the one that's supposed to be in it. Well, it's possible that they put a remote in there that I'm starting to get this hemming and hawing. There's an inventory sheet. For your unit, there's an inventory sheet. When it comes out of the factory, it has everything they put into it. Guess what's on my inventory sheet? Dimplex fireplace. Guess what's not in my unit? A Dimplex fireplace. So as it turns out, after digging, our unit came on when it was delivered to the lot. There was another unit that was there that the fireplace had failed. So what did they do? They went out to the unit that we were going to buy, and they took the fireplace out of our unit and they put it in the other unit. So the owners could drive off with the Dimplex fireplace they needed. Right. They do this stuff all the time. Broken windows, they'll take parts and pieces off a brand new unit that's come onto the lot in order to make another one whole so they can get it out there. They're robbing Peter to save Paul. And they'll go ahead and they'll do the best they can, but so I ended up having some money taken off of the what we paid for the unit because the fireplace that was supposed to be in there wasn't. I got something lesser, and then they didn't try to hide it, but they didn't come out and say, "Oh, by the way, we had to change the fireplace out in this thing because." So look out for that stuff. Read the inventory sheets, do your PDI properly, do your research, and avoid going back to that service area if you can possibly help it. Sometimes things are going to happen, and you cannot avoid it. And you're going to have to use service. You're going to have to use warranty. All right, that's fine. Try to put it off as long as possible. Wait to the winter. Wait to the off season where you can drop the unit off, and you're not going to have to worry about it, or it's not going to impact your season. It's kind of good with us up in the Northeast. A lot of us don't camp during the winter, so from November until April or so, have at it. I don't care. Do what you need to do to it. But come April, I want the thing back. So that's all I want to say about that. You have any questions or whatever? Let me know. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you want. Yeah. All right. Have a good one. Take it easy.